So I'm popping in here because this week's podcast is how we are complicit in keeping the glass cage intact for our daughters. So it's all about what we're offering them as women and mothers that forges a path that offers them more than what we ourselves had access to. And part of that is, sure, the patriarchy, but part of that is how do we open up to offering our daughters more than what the patriarchy has up until this point in time? How do we step up as women and step forth and offer them something that's really delicious and beautiful and embodied and grounded and is the feminine rising that we all keep talking about? It's time. It's the generation of women rising and the feminine rising, but unless we're willing to really step up and own that with it, it becomes a kind of a moot point because our daughters see what we do and they then are able to follow our footsteps in owning that. So part of the podcast that comes out this week, which is how we let our collective daughters down, was after a conversation I had with Bridget. And we were standing here one night and she's like, the patriarchy and, all this stuff. And I was like, yeah, but how are we complicit in the very thing we say we don't want? Where is our voice stifled? Where do we still subscribe to busying ourselves rather than centering and grounding our energy? How do we still play the role that we say that we don't want to play? And I was listening to myself, and I had just run my daughter's coming of age ceremony last year, but several months ago. And a few of the girls out of that had said, to their mums, gosh, I see you leave for Women's Circle every month, and now I really want that. I want this space where I can check in and say and do and have the experiences that I'm going through in my life. And I was like, I don't think I'm ready. And then this year, after we're halfway through this year already, I said to one of these girls, I think I'm ready. I am ready to move with this energy. It feels really right. And I'm so feeling the call to empower our daughters and these young women with all of the information that we ourselves never had. So I have opened up a Maiden Circle. Literally just now, I've just put it on my website. So I'll put the link below, but it is on The Pleasure Nutritionist, for a once a month experience for girls aged 12 to 16. Where we will look at what it is to blossom open into who we are, how we find our sacred ground, what confidence and self-worth really looks like and feels like. And we're going to talk about some of the tricky subjects that they themselves are going through or that they see exposed in their world around them, which daughters of that age 12 to 16, let me tell you, they are seeing and hearing everything. So regardless of whether it's a conversation in your home or not, how do we equip our daughters to handle whatever comes their way? And I would love to think that I could play a small role in sitting with a group of daughters and offering them something of what I have learned on what it is to be an embodied woman, what it is to have health from a health practitioner, what it is to journey our own sense of contentment and pleasure and have all of our experiences move from there as a tantric practitioner, of course filtered down, but from the place of really sacred space and sacred conversations, and how we bring the sacred into those discussions with our teenage daughters rather than leaving them to kind of just sort of work that thing out. So if you yourself have a daughter aged 12 to 16 and you would like her to join, it will be in Seaford on a Thursday night from 5 till 7 p.m. Or of one, I would love for you to tag them. It is a casual event. It will be $16 to attend at this point in time anyway, while we're working it out. And every month I will look at addressing a topic. There are only 12 spots. 3 of those are already taken, so that leaves us 9 spots. But if you yourself are a mother of a daughter who you would deeply, heart-lovingly, nourishingly love for her to have a space to find all the pieces that you really want for her, then I feel a deep calling to take my work beyond women and to look at what that is like. My daughter will be one of the girls that's there. And I hope that there's a group of mamas who feel equally as passionately about we are raising this next generation of women. What do we want them to be equipped with, and how do we start allowing them access to their own sacredness so they don't need to look for it outside of themselves? And I hope you'll join me.